Do you have any questions or doubts for yesterday's one?
No.
Okay, so up to yesterday we discussed about this one. We are discussing about how to enable SFTP, how to create a add a local user. Okay, we are discussed. Okay, but we need to enable. This is just if we have already enabled the prerequisites, then you can create a user and you can create a containers and you can generate the connection authentication method using password. You can connect the connection string. Okay, and but if you want to use this, you need to enable that that resource provider. You have to enable that resource provider. You have to register that service. So how we can normally, if any new service comes and if you want to register, okay, how we can do that? Let me show you that. Go to subscription. Okay. If we click on the subscription and you can go on search. So currently we are looking for the SFTP. So SFTP is a new service actually. So that's why I'm going for the subscription. And I'm going for the resource provider. Yeah, here. So here you want to register. We already discussed, right? Subscription is a resource provider. Okay. Okay, here is FTP. Okay. If it's not there, it's in maybe it's in preview features. Okay.
This screen is not visible, sir.
This is not the resource. This is a inside the resource. This is a feature, right? So that's why it's a preview feature. So currently, so let me search with that SFTP. Okay, see, so this is the SFTP resource, and you have to register this if you want to use the SFTP features. Okay, so you see currently it is not registered, so you have to click this and you have to click on the register, so it will register actually.
Bro, screen is not visible, bro.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Can you see now?
Yeah, now okay, bro.
Yeah. So here here you have to search the the feature, the service, the resource you want to use, that SFTP. That is, you have to verify that is in registered or not. So I actually just now I have registered here, you can see. So I have registered now, just now. Okay, the feature is register. If you just select this and you can click register, it will get registered. Okay, so that I have registered in the subscription level. So where you want to go, you have to go for the subscription. There only you can see the all services, or you can see if it is available, you can see the subscriptions here, and you can go for the selected subscription, which subscription you want to enable that feature. Okay, and you can go for. So normally, if resource, if you want any new resource, the resource you have to enable that, you have to register that in the resource provider. Okay, but this is a safety with the feature, so that's you normally you can see, right? It's been all registered these resources: storage account, compute, security, diagnostics. So normally you can see that if some resources is not registered. Okay. So if it is not registered, you have to select that and you have to register that service. Okay. Then only if that service you can use it. Otherwise you can't, that service it won't work. Okay. And currently we are looking for the SFTP, and the SFTP is in features. Okay. And what we did it, SFTP, you can search it. Okay. And we have just selected and we have clicked on register. It was sorry, it's register. You can try unregister and register also. If you want to just, you want to see, then I can unregister, right? So you see now the currently the feature is not registered. Okay. So if you want to register, you can select it and click on register. So you can register that. Okay. Now you can see SFTP support in the Azure blob storage. It's been registered now. Okay. So now you can go for the storage account and I can create that. Let me explain you from first actually that. Okay. Now the SFT feature is registered, and let me go for that storage account. Let me create you new storage account. So I will tell you that what are the options while creating a storage account, what are the options you have to enable. So you have to enable the hierarchical namespace and you have to enable the SFTP, then only it will work. Okay. So we know this is the basic information, the subscription and resource group, and he will create the storage account name as FTP, or we can create demo as FTP. Okay, this is my storage account 01. Okay, this is my storage account. Okay, let me go for h2s. Okay, for me no problem. And here when we have a redundancy, right? So this SFTP feature, it will support only in uh, with LRS and zone redundant. It won't support in GRS and geo zone redundant. Okay. So whenever you want to use the feature, the SFTP, make sure that storage account it will be in redundancy should be LRS or ZRS. Okay. So now I'm choosing the LRS. Okay. And click on the next. Here you can see, right? Hierarchical enable hierarchical namespace should be enabled because of we want to use the SFTP feature. So we have to enable that. So then only you can use that feature. Okay. Then rest of the things is common when what we discussed in the while creating the storage account. Okay. So that's why I'm going for the directly review and create. Okay. So I'm just past that validation. So I'm going for the create a storage account. So normally, if you want to access this SFTP, you have to use the tools like WinSAP, how we are using for the file servers to access, right? Same like that, you have to client based tools like WinSAP. These tools we have to use to access the SFTP service. Okay. So now the storage account is created, and let me go to create a containers. Okay. And let it upload few files. Okay. Okay, I'm just creating a container. I'm giving as a working queue test docs, or I can give SFTP. Okay, we don't need to SFTP everything, it will look like confusing the names. So I'll give you a demo. So give your username, I will give you. Okay. Okay. This is the container name. Okay, I'm just creating a container, and let me create one more container. So the two names, usernames I have created a. Okay, okay, I've created the containers. Okay, so this Banu and Suman is the container names. Okay, now let me go to the SFTP and add the user. Okay, here I'm adding to the user, local user. So because of why we have to add a user in the sense, so we are not using any Azure AD or any authentication method. So for in this SFTP, we are creating a local users. So that's why we are adding a users to access this storage account with the SFTP via local user. Okay, that's why we are adding as a local user. So now I'm giving the local user for SFTP is SFTP user one. So this is the username I'm giving for the SFTP. This is my local user to access the SFTP. Okay. And what authentication I'm giving? I'm giving the SSH password. Okay. So let me go for the next, and here I'm giving the container name. So which container I'm providing user for this, which container I'm adding for this local user. So let me select for the bond. Okay, I'm selecting, this is the container. Okay, for this container, for this user, what level of permission you need to provide the to use that user. Okay, I'm giving full control. And what is the root directory? So root directory, let me give, I'll give Banu only. Okay, so this is only root directory. So I'm just adding it. So you can see very careful. Okay, I'm giving this, adding a user in SFTP. Okay, and authentication I'm enable SSH password. And next I'm using Banu is the container name which we have created earlier, right? So I'm using as a container as same for this user. Okay, SFTP user one. So the what permission that user, sorry, that container name, this is the container name. So what permissions you have given? So all permissions, currently you have given the full permissions. And the home directory, so what is the directory of that container? You can give any, like if you have other container also, you can give like that is the root home directory. So currently for this container I'm giving as a home directory as same container. Okay, so and then go and click this. So use local user will get add to your SFTP. So you have enabled the SSH password, right? So it will show the password once it's been added to the user. Okay, just copy this password to login. Okay, just okay, I'm just copying this password here. So now you can close this. So this is the one user you have added in SFTP. Okay, let me go for in SFTP to access that FTP, sorry, SFTP. Okay, so let me log in here. Okay, how we are going to log in here? Okay, so you can get this name. Okay, to log in as a user, for FQDA name is this. Okay, and I'm giving the first name is this, and using the port 22 because of this SFTP it's in port 22. And I'm giving the username. Okay, username is, so this is a storage account, and this is the user. And what is the container you want to you that is a root container you want to access. You can give like before connecting, let upload a few files, otherwise it will show as a reconnect because of empty account, sorry, empty containers. Let me upload few files so you can able to see once you access that FTP, SFTP. You can upload, so using the same portal options, you can upload that. I uploaded one file. Okay, let me upload one more. Index one also. So I uploaded two files. Okay, now let me go and to NSAP and enter the password here. So what is the password which you have shared here? You have copied, right? You can select that, copy, and you can paste here. You click on yes. Okay, you can see, right? So you can able to connect the root directory. Okay, and so what are the two files you uploaded here? You can see, right, two files. You can able to access that storage account, that container, blob container, using WinSAP. So still if you want to copy some files there, you can drag and drop there in that file. Okay, it will just moving that, it's connecting. It will move that, you can see the file is moved. So you can use this SFP tool, you know, right, the how you are going to access the normal SFTPs, FTPs. So same way you are using that WinSAP tool to FileZilla or WinSAP. These are the tools to access the client tools to access the SFTPs and FTP features services. Okay, so if you want to create another folder, you can create here. uh, Demo, I'm giving as a demo, and select as a permissions as well, and they're giving. Okay, yeah, it should not contain the properties of file demo. Okay, fine. Sorry. Yeah, that's fine. Actually provided the descriptions. Okay, okay, okay. Upload also will get create actually. Yeah, you can see it created the folder. Okay, if you want to move some still some data, you can move to another folder also. See, so like this you can without accessing the directly Azure storage account, the blob container. So you can use this SFTP feature. Okay, and you can use the client tools, client machine tools like WinSAP and FileZilla. And you can able to access the, and you can manage the data. You can copy or moving, deleting, and you can download to the files. So you have any doubt? Yes. So you can see here in the directories. Do you guys anyone worked in the SFTPs and FTPs in previously? You have any knowledge? Because of if you have worked, it's been already we could have used this demo. Sorry, this SFTP client tools, WinSCP and FileZilla. Okay. Hello. Can you hear me? Hello, guys. Can you hear me? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
So you know, right now currently you are creating the containers and you are enabling the feature and you are accessing using SFTP. This way you can able to manage the using SFTP configuration in the storage account. You can able to access the storage account using WinSCP. So same if you want to access with suppose um using private key also you can do that. So but that comes we can use for any method we can use, so that's why we are using for the SSH. So SSH also we have basically we have two, SSH key pair and SSH password. Okay, we have used the SSH password. Okay, you can use the key pair also. So this way you can able to set if you want to use other users, so you have to add a new user, SFTP user 2. Okay, so like this you can create multiple users, and if you want to different folder that user, and you can set and permissions you can give that particular user of directory you can put. Okay, so like that you can add multiple users as a local user. You can add it for this SFTP, and you can give this uh, access string and the password to that user, so they can able to access. Okay. So using this password, they can able to access the SFTP feature. Any doubts here? It's understanding. You guys are understanding or not? If you're not, I will explain you again. You have to tell, no? You have to speak.
Yes, you can tell again, bro.
Uh-huh.
You can tell one more.
Okay. So as we discussed, so if you want to work SFTP, you have to enable this feature has to be enabled. Means this feature has to be registered in the subscription level. Okay, you have to verify this it's been registered or not. If this is not registered, you can't this it won't work. Okay, SFTP it won't work. So first validation is this SFTP has to check it's been registered or not registered. Okay, this is the first one. And second one, you have to enable that hierarchical namespace of the storage account. And I told you, right, it should be the storage account should be in LRS and ZRS. If you have geo redundant and geo zone redundant, then it won't work. So while creating a storage account, you have to select that options. Okay, so what are the prerequisites? One is subscription level, that SFTP feature has to be enabled. Okay, and one more, what is the option? We have, it should be in LRS or ZRS. Only these two redundant features only that SFTP will it will work. The geo redundant storage and geo zone redundant storage SFTP it won't support. Okay, this is one prerequisite. And the next one, if you go for advanced, okay, here this name enable an hierarchical namespace should be enabled. Yeah, here you have to enable the hierarchical namespace, and we have to enable the SFTP feature also. Later also you can enable, but this feature name hierarchical namespace should be enabled. So these are the prerequisites. These options has to be enabled before creating the storage account. Okay, Once this options is enabled, then you can go on. Other options is a normal standard options what we discussed in earlier while creating a storage account. So you can proceed to create a storage account. Once you create a storage account, then you have to go for that storage account, and you have to go for SFTP feature. SFTP option, where is SFTP? Yeah, you have to go for SFTP. And here you are going to add that SFTP user. So why you are adding a SFTP user in the sense? So for this storage account, we are adding a local user to access the storage account. SFTP storage, to access the SFTP storage, we are creating a user accounts here. So how we are creating? While adding a local user option, you are creating a user. So these are the like a user one and user SFTP user two. These are the users. Okay. So you are accessing the storage account using SFTP user one and SFTP user two. So based upon how you want to provide to identify the names for that user, so whom you are providing which container access, so that you can see here. While adding, you can provide that specific user. So if you want to provide a new user, okay. So here it's coming, right? Here you are defining the view. What is the username? Okay, username is like I'm just giving a test. Okay, and this user, how he has to be authenticated? This user has to authenticate with the SSH password. Okay, and I'm going for the next and the next. So which container you are going to provide the adding this user, which container you are adding to access this container. So you are adding a user, right? This test user, which container you are adding, so that container you can able to access that user. Okay, either this one or you want to add two, you can add it. Okay, you can add it, and you are you can able to provide the permissions. If this container, these are the containers, right? You can see container names, what level of access you want. Like you want to only list and read, or and this container you want full control. So these are the ACL you can manage based upon the user. Okay, and here you can give what is the root container. You can give any container name you have currently. Okay, okay, you can give that and you can add it. Okay, so for test user, you are giving access to these two containers and with these permissions. Okay, once you create it, so you can copy this. Okay, let me add it. So this way you can able to add it. Then after that, you have selected the SSH password, right? So you can access that test user using this password. Okay, you have to copy that and you have to save that password in separately. You have to share this password that user. Okay, then only you can able to access, and you have to copy this like host name also you can share with that user, then only that user can able to access. So this is my host name and this is my password to access that test user. So that way how you are going, how you have to access the SFTP users. SFTP users can be accessed only from the client, SFTP clients. SFTP clients are WinSAP or WinZilla. So these are the clients. Okay, so you can use these clients, you can able to access your storage account with the SFTP feature. Okay, that way we have already we have connected with SFTP, and we have copy, we have uploaded from the using SFTP also. Okay, this way we can upload, or you can still, if you want to upload one more dog, you can upload here. Okay, okay, like this you can upload that, and you can see this, you can see what are the permissions you have for that dog. Okay, and if you have demo, if you go and see demo folder directory, what are the permissions you have. So that way you can like uh, verify the permissions, and you can manage the storage accounts using SFTP. Guys, do you have still have any doubt?
No,
Sorry.
no.
Okay, I don't know, you people simply listening and it's not talking actually. So I think I have to ask questions. Then only I think you people listen more carefully. So this is the SFTP about that. Okay, and what if, about advisory? So we have already discussed about Azure advisory. So it's going to recommend the recommendation like the security, cost, and the performance. So currently we don't have any recommendations for this storage account. So we have already discussed about this Azure recommendations in the separate service actually. Okay, and the endpoints is the storage account endpoints. We can see that each blob file and queue and table. So the endpoints is just to accessing the blob service. So this is the resource ID of the blob. Suppose you want to manage using PowerShell or something, we need a resource ID. Okay, and this is the blob service. If you want to access the blob using this like service blob service name only, you can able to access. Do you remember when you are connecting, you are mounting the storage account, the SFTP, you are using this? Do you remember? But we are collecting this same file service in the SFTP file storage. So you can connect. If you go for the properties of the container, you can see this same option actually, or you can go for the endpoints also. You can see that uh, file service or queue service or blob service to access the specific storage account. Okay, so anyhow, so what are the features for to access the blob service? So you can use blob storage, like how you have to manage as a SFTP. That has been option we have. For file share we have a using like mounting. You can use that. You can mount as a drive, that you can use the SFTP, sorry, file share storage account. Okay, but all the storage account, if you want to access the other tool, like you can use for the Azure portal, or you can use for the storage explorer or storage browser. You can use and you can manage the storage account. Okay, so that is called the endpoints. Okay, and we have already discussed about the logs. So logs are used to tell me what is meant by logs and why you're using for the logs here. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, tell me what is a log? Like why you need a log here? If you enable the log, what?
Logs means it will full securement. If you have any actions you want, create one password like log.
No, no, I'm asking log.
Yeah, logs means can save in security. Bro.
In Active Directory, level, actually we are using uh, account should be locked in between. Suppose we are giving three times we are giving wrong password or something. Display should be giving this much of time in between half an hour or 15 minutes automatically or something else. Don't know actually.
No, logs are used to suppose accidental deletion. Suppose by mistaking if you have deleted, so the resource will go off. Okay, I mean to say that the resource will delete permanently. So if you have enable the logs, so it is like second level of validation. If someone is user trying to deleting that resource, suppose now you have enabled the log to the storage account. Okay, so if you enable the read-only log, you can't delete that resource. You can't able to modify any operation in this resource, the storage account. Okay, so you can't perform the any changes because of you are restricting the access, and you can only modify the you can just see that. Okay, if you provide the read only lock, you can only see, but you can't enable the features here, and you can't like modify file storage size, you can't increase, and you can't create a containers. Okay, you can't do anything. You can't create a lifecycle management rules, and you can't enable the geo replication. Okay, you can't do any operations here. So that way, if you that way you can restrict the access. If so specific user only have to manage that resource, so that time you can restrict the access while enabling the logs. So that is for one use. And one more is to avoid the accidental deletion. So you can like you can enable the lock, so it won't allow by directly. So you have to remove the lock before deleting. So that way you have a second level validation before deleting the resource. So this way you can use for the log for the Azure resources. So this option, it will be available for all the resources in Azure. Okay. One more, coming to the monitoring, we have an app insights. So this app insights, it will give you the all the like information about that resource, like what are the performance, how the data transactions, everything like end to end, you can able to see in the app insights. But if you go for the metric, we won't get that much low level of data. So that's why app insights is more like it's very powerful compared to the metrics. So metrics is basic monitoring which is given by uh, Azure actually themselves. But if we can enable the app insights, then you will get the all the low level data. You can see all each metric data you can able to see here. Okay, you can do the customize also for this like how you want, and the failures of that, if you have any connections as failures, and see how many transitions, how many success. Okay, authorization errors, how many, the client other errors, how many. So this we have, see, for each like storage services, we have this all. So table, okay, blob, okay. So these options you can't able to get from this. If you want to manage from the each component, so you have to go and see the app insights, and you can manage it. And if you want to show the logs also, you can show here the logs. Okay, and you can see the performance. So what the ingress, outgress, and the rate of uh, the data transfer also you can see. See, you can see SFTP commit how much, read how much, read is 0. Okay, and the commit only we have the, and write also we have created a folder, right? So you can see what are the like the like operations as performed here. So in the storage account you can see here. Okay, so this much like all the performance kind of stuff for the storage account you can able to monitor here. So you can see the latency also, that how the success of latency average, how fast and it's been perform that task. So what are the read or write or creating container, how much time it took for creation container. See, create a container, it's taking 35 milliseconds, and create a SFTP create, it's giving 30.33 milliseconds. So it's been very low level. You can collect all the information in the app insights. So that's why it's very like for troubleshooting to analysis for this app insights is very important. Okay, this matrix is available here separately. So availability also here in this. Okay, and you can see the data storage availability here. So the we discussing, right, here only we are discussing the high availability, right? So ZRS, GRS. So you can see if you have any unhealthy of that resource, it will show that. If you have any unavailable, see the storage account is available, and it's been all the blob file table you all storage it's been 100% is available. We don't have any issue for this storage accounts. Okay, so if you can see the trend also, the availability, okay, from few hours. If you want to customize that, you can even customize also. With this is register. See, you can able to change it to now how many hours you want. Okay, the availability. See, you can able to change and you can verify. Like if you someone user is unable to access the storage account, if you want to check the if you have any issue with the resource or availability of that resource, you can verify that availability also. And here you can see the capacity, so how much size is using and which storage are using how much size and what is the total size of the storage account, so you can verify here. So currently we it's not showing. That's what was last 30 minutes. Not showing any size. So it's in KB. KB also has to be show actually. So it's a blob, right? Yeah, blob it has to show. I think it's not still it's not reflected as a collected data, so that's why it's not reflected. Normally, the used capacity will show here. I think it's showing or we are not able to see. Okay. So this way you can able to see the like your app insights information of the storage accounts. Using app insights, you can able to verify that from very lower level to like each um, the performance and values, everything you can able to verify in the for that particular storage in the app insights. Okay, and if you go for the metrics, we have a we can select that. So based upon the resource, you can select that metric. Okay, this is the scope of the resource and you can see that. So it's a file or blob. So if you want to specifically, if you want to find the file capacity, what is that average, okay, what is for the file capacity, or if you want to blob, okay, so blob capacity or blob availability. So like that we can verify the same thing, but we do you can't see that all the options here. So we have a limited options here. Okay, only these options only you can check, but if you go for app insights, we have more options actually. So here you can see ingress and outgress, so incoming traffic and outgoing traffic for the blob. Okay, and that you can see here. Yes, yes, you can able to see. If someone asks you that ingress outgress of this storage account, okay, if it's a blob, so then you can check here and you can give the value of that requested user. So that way, if the storage account access is working or not, how you can test it. If the ingress and outgress is showing the value, then storage account is able to access. Storage access is working fine. So that way you can confirm that. So normally it won't come as a storage account access issues or something will come. Network issues that only are user not knowing that how to access. Normally that issues only will come, but no one will ask you to check if storage account is working fine or not. Storage account it will be always it will be working. So the user having maybe the issues. Okay, and we are discussing these alerts actually in the monitoring. We are how what are the alerts we can enable, how to create a alert rule, how to manage that alert for this actually. If you suppose if you want to create a specific alert rule for the storage account, you can directly here you can create it. It will take you to into the Azure monitor. or you can go and create alert rule in the Azure monitor also to monitor for the all Azure resources. Okay, and we have discussed about workbooks to create a dashboard of that resource to see the same like how we use this app insights and metrics. Same that the performance of that you can see, or if you want to create any custom workbooks, you can use for that to run the all the storage accounts, how many are all the storage accounts used capacity, or like that you can create your workbooks and you can use it. And we have discussed this diagnostic storage account in the VM actually. So this diagnostics, what is mean by diagnostics settings in the storage account? Hello. So what is mean by diagnostic settings? Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, bro.
So your voice is not here. I'm not audible actually. So could you please tell me what is the diagnostic settings? I don't think so. If people are studying,
No.
there is no use if without studying, without thing is actually listening, it won't help you. Frankly, I'm telling it. In next day, you'll forget all the things. Looks like if you know, but you won't remember. Okay, you have to every day you have to study. Okay, this diagnostic settings, um, it's used to send the logs to either a logistics workspace or storage account or um, logic app or functions, so that we have a number of options to enable that. Okay, if you go here, if you want to enable that blob or anything, so basically these are the logs. It will be can be sent to login sticks workspace or storage account. So those are the logs will be available from the storage account. You can send to the event hub or any other like partner solution or login sticks workspace or storage account. So this it will be so different cases how why you need the logs. Okay, if you want to check my all what are the like operations is performing my storage account, and if you have any changes someone user is doing, I want to track all this information. So you can enable this all the logs, or you want to transaction logs also metric logs also you want to need, and you can enable all logs. Okay, and you can send the create a storage diagnostic storage logs. Okay, I'm creating and as a name I'm enabling that in workspace. So currently I don't have logistics workspace. Okay, you don't have. So I'm using instead of logistic workspace, I have a storage account, right? So I'm using storage account. So in this storage account I can use, okay, this resource group. You don't have any other storage accounts. If you have in the same region, if you have any other storage accounts, you can select that. You can set this logs can be stored in this uh, storage account. See, this is we have selected East US. So we have all the other storage accounts created in South India. So that's why you don't have other storage account to select to store the logs here. So normally we have to go for the archival to storage account. You have to select the storage account and click the save. So this all logs it will get stored into the storage account. Okay, so this is for to just track for your information how the requirement it is. Okay, and if you want to show, I will show you for the storage account for that option. Okay, if you go for diagnostics, let me go for See, here it's coming, right? Storage account. You can able to see, right? So this way you can select the storage account, and you can define the let me, here is only showing a metrics. Let me go and select the let me go here, go back here, and here select, let me select okay, let me, I want a file. Okay, file logs I want to store. Okay, so these logs it is going to store into the selected storage account. Okay, I'm giving the storage account name, so which storage account has to store, and I'm giving the name, how, what is the name. Okay, I'm giving is a logs. Okay, and which storage account. Okay, this is my storage account. So this storage account logs, it's going to store in this storage account. Okay, and what logs is going to be stored? What logs you want to store? I want to store storage read, storage write, and storage delete, and metrics also I want to enable. Okay, so I'm just going here and clicking save. Okay, once you save this, you are enabled the you can see that enablement of logs to the another storage account of file share. Okay, file share logs we have enabled to store. So you're just tracking the file share logs of the storage account. If you, whatever purpose, like if you want to track your all the changes for the storage account, or you want to be for evidence, this is very critical, this is for HR or some finance storage account, you want to track all the information, so you can keep this for audit purpose also, you can keep this all the logs or everything to another storage account. Okay, so this is this way you can see right now you have enabled the diagnostic settings, and this is the storage account. This logs is going to store in this storage account. What are the logs is going to store? So these are the logs of the file share. See, the file share storage account logs is going to store in this storage account. If you want to, so you have not enabled the event hub, not enabled the logistics workspace and other partners, so you don't have that currently. So we have only storage account, so we have enabled for that. If you want to go and see that, you have to modify, you can click on the edit settings, and you can go back to the diagnostic setting configuration. You can see, right, what configuration you have enabled, what logs, and you can see if you want to change it also. If you don't want to transitions of metrics, you can uncheck that and you can select. Okay, you can save it. So that way you can modify the what logs you need in, if maybe in custom in future also you can modify while going for editing the settings. Okay, so these three logs it's going to be storing into this storage account. Okay, if you want to change the destination, like instead of storage account you want to change it to logistics workspace also, you can change while clicking edit setting, you can go and you can change it. Okay, so that is called the story that diagnostic settings. So now, as we discussed, now if you enable the logistic workspace to store the logs, so these logs you want to see. Okay, you can directly, you can either you can go to the logistics workspace and you can see this logs information, or if you enable the logistics workspace, you directly click in the logs, it will show you the logistics, directly it will take you to the logistics workspace dashboard. Here you can able to run the using question query, you can able to run. So these are the basic queries, looks like this. Okay, so it will be available by default queries here. Okay, if you want to use that, you can use it. Okay, otherwise you can write your own question queries here. Okay, because apparently we don't have enabled. Okay, so it won't be anything. So logs also is not stored, and logistics also is not enabled. So that's why you can see that there are no data found here. Okay, if you enable, it will come. You have to write a query here and you can run it. Okay, you can see the data. Okay, you can change to the time series also, and you can export the same details. What are the you have details you can see here. You can export it into the Excel or CSV and PDF. You can export the data also. Okay, for that it will use for the logs. And this monitoring is the classic. So currently we are using for a resource, right? We don't need this same options we have discussed earlier. So same thing, diagnostics and metrics. Okay. And this is a task is in preview, and this is just template of the storage account of in the JSON format. And here you are going to check the resource health, okay, of the storage account. See, you can see the resources. If you have any issues with the service from Microsoft, you can able to see the resource health, it's been healthy or not. And here you can check the connectivity. If the SFTP or the blob storage it's been not connected, or your connectivity is enabled or not for these services, you can able to see. So currently we don't have a active directory is been enabled, right? So that's why it's showing this is it's a warning actually. For others it's been enabled, so you can able to get access. If you have anything issue with this service, you can able to see the connectivity check also. Okay, and this is a recovery, a recover deleted account. Suppose now let me go and delete this account. Okay, this account. Let me go and delete this account, and we have, if you enable the let me check if we have enabled the soft delete option for the this one. Um, Let me enable. Then we can go and delete, and we can try to soft delete is enabled. In data production, you can see that it's been enabled already. Okay, so I'm just going and deleting the storage account, and we'll try to recover using the recovery option. Okay, I'm trying to delete it. Let me delete this SFTP one. Let me check before deleting again. Yeah, it's there. So I'm deleting this. Yeah, I'm deleting this storage account. Okay, what is the storage account? Demo SFTP. Right. Demo SFTP 01. Okay, this is storage account. I'm just deleting it. Okay, you have deleted this. If you can try this, you can see you cannot able to see that SFTP demo SFTP. Okay, let me go here, scroll down and click on the recovery and delete recovery delete account, and go and see. Here you can see, right? So these are the accounts we have it's been deleted previously. Okay, and this demo SFTP01 is deleted just now, right? You can see the time also. You can see 808, and we have deleted 806 and 07 AM. Okay, and so if you have enabled the soft delete option using the recovery deleted accounts, you can able to restore here. So now currently you can see demo SFTP01 is not there in the storage account list, correct? So if you want to restore that delete account, by mistakenly you have deleted. Okay, so why the storage account is showing here, in the sense you have enabled the soft deletion of that storage account. So if 7 days it will store, you can see it will be retention. Deleted accounts last 14 days it's showing here, but the retention you have set for is only 7 days. So within 7 days you can able to restore. Okay, now you have selected that. Okay, to recover it, see this demo SFTP01 is not there, not there in the storage account list. You can see this is just now we have deleted. You can see here also, you can verify here. You can see successfully deleted the storage account. This is the one, correct? The same one we are going to recover, we are going to recover it. Okay, So the deleted one, I'm going to restoring using the recover deleted account. Okay, I'm just clicking the recover and initiated for the recovery.
Sir, only last 4 days, whatever you deleted, that you have deleted accounts you need to
No, you
recover, right?
speak loudly, bro. I don't know what is the problem actually. That it's been not, that is the retention, based upon the retention, right? We talked about the 7 days, 14 days, that is the custom option. How you are the retention are you
Yeah, that is custom option, bro. That is our we need to set, right?
sorry.
Custom option. Custom option we need to set, right?
Yeah, it's been already said, no, that was before deleting, we see, right? It was there 7 days.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So now we have restored. Let me refresh it. So successfully restore successfully, and let me refresh it. Yeah, you can see demo SFTP. You can able to restore the storage account. Okay, so this way you can able to restore the storage account. Okay, so currently you can see you have only 4 right now, and I see that we have deleted previously other storage accounts also. So I want to restore that. You can see that this 2 is there. Okay, SFTP account. Okay, if you want to restore, you can select that. You can able to restore that. See, SFTP is not there right here. So you have initiated for the restore of that this account. So now it's been in progress, so you can able to restore that account also here. Okay, that way the storage account, it will be stored in the recycle, like it's been in the retention period that is managed by Microsoft. Okay, so whenever within the retention period, you can able to restore the storage accounts. Okay, so that way you can do the restoration of the storage account. Let me refresh it and let me show it that. Yeah, you can see safety backup one also, it's been restored. Okay, so that way you can able to like restore the using restore recover a delete account. Okay, so using this you can able to do that. Okay, so we have, if still you can go for that option, I think it has to show one account. Okay, so see, this is a one account, other account also it is there with the same name. Okay, this was deleted on I think yesterday only. Okay, so this way you can able to do it. And let me delete it. I don't want this. I don't want this. Let me delete it. Let me delete it one by one. It has to give a name, right? Relation selected this. Sorry, I'll try that. It's asking you to click confirm to yes, not asking for the giving the storage accounts names actually. So if you just click yes, and you can delete option, you can delete the storage account. Okay, and if you go for again that storage account, if the recovery delete option, record account delete, you can go here. It has to show how many accounts. It has to show 3 accounts. See, it's showing 3 accounts. If you want to restore, you can restore it again. Okay, you have any questions? Okay, so I thought to start the backup. I don't know, you people are not joining here, only 2 people out of 4. So the backup also is a very important topic. If you want to start, I'm good to start now also. So how to enable the backup? Okay, we can discuss today. Okay, and restoration process we'll discuss
Yeah,
now.
Banu is in office work.
Okay, where is the other guy?
Other guy will just have some work.
Your voice is not audible.
We'll call you.
I don't know how you are listening class using in the mobile or you in the laptop.
Present, I'm using mobile, bro. I'm hearing my earphones. I'm audible, bro.
Yeah, now it's audible. Yeah. So can I proceed with the VM backup configuration? So that is
Yeah,
also
bro.
backups also is very important. Okay. So I'm just going. So I'm explain what is the service we are using for the backup. Okay. So we are using the recovery service vault as a backup to take all the VMs for the backups. So first of all, what is a recovery service vault? So this is the service which you are using to take the backups of the VMs. Okay. So we this service you can use for the you can take the file you can take the backup of storage accounts also, and you can take the SQL databases, and you can take the VMs, you can take the VM databases also, and you can take the on-prem server file levels and folder level backups also you can take. So this tool is very powerful actually. So this using this recovery vault service, you can manage all. We can manage so many backups. You can manage on-prem backups. You can prem Azure backups. You can manage other cloud like backups also. So this is very powerful tool actually in Azure. This is a common tool is to manage all the backups. Okay, so first of all, you want to know what is this recovery service vault. So the recovery service vault is entity actually. It's just a stores a recovery points, and it create a over time, and it provide the interface performance and backup related operations. Like so whenever if we have on time, like whatever the VM state, okay, based upon your the policy said when you have to take the backup. So over the time it will take the backup, and it will keep into the as a recovery point. It will keep into the recovery service vault. So recovery service what it's going to do, it will take the backup as a, and it will keep it as a recovery point. It will store as a recovery point. If you want to restore from that recovery point, you can able to restore your VM or file or folder or disk or whatever it could be. You can able to restore from using recovery service vault. Okay, so let me create now restore recovery service vault. Okay, so guys, try to understand now currently what is a recovery service vault. This is just to manage. This is like a management entity. This recovery service vault is a management entity that stores this recovery service vault stores the like restore points over the time while creating it. Okay, that it will stores all the recovery points as a, it will stores into the recovery vault. Okay, so let me go and create a recovery service vault. If someone asks, so how you are managing the backups using recovery service vault in Azure? Okay, so this is very important, guys. Let me search recovery. You can see. So now we are going for recovery service vault. Okay, go for recovery service vault and create a new one. Okay, here you create a new one. Click on create, and it will ask you the same like the basic information about, so what is the subscription, which subscription you want to create, and which under which resource group you want to create, and which reason, and what is the name of it. Okay, you are going to create in the, we have only single subscription, right? So we are going to create the subscription. Okay, Yeah, I'm selecting the existing resource group and I'm giving the vault name. So recovery recovery vault vault. I will give you like today's date 14/04/2020. So I'm giving as a vault name is recovery vault 14/04/2020. I've given as a vault name this. Okay, and it's asking what is this error showing resource group. What's coming error here? Hmm. Which one is error showing? Nothing is showing error, but it's showing as a basic is a error. Demo. What error seems so that is error. Let me try to create things. So, okay. So I think demo RG1 is in different location. I think S2S1. Let me verify before creating. So what is the resource group is showing error? Why is showing error? So both are south only. I think there is a limitation of the services. That's why it's showing the error. Okay, fine. We can create anywhere in any resource group. We can create it. So let me reselect it again. Okay, so it's taking. I think there is some space at something. Okay, review and create it. Okay. And click on create. What is happening here? So nothing is showing. What is happening? Yeah, it's initiating. Yeah, there is a delay in my browser. I think. And let it create. So this way you can just create a recovery vault. Okay. So yep, now it's a recovery vault is created. Okay, you can see now this is my demo vault 14/04/22 is my recovery vault. Okay, so now this is the recovery vault. Let me explain the options. So which options will use for the most and what are the options basically from the recovery vault. Okay, so we know the overview of that. So what are the current configuration of that? It will show in the overview. And the activity log, what are the changes going to create in the recovery vault? It will be create as a log here. Okay, here if you want to provide access, so for the specific users or the group, you are going to provide in the access control. And this is just used to giving the tags to identify the resource. Okay, and here just for having the problems of to resolve the diagnostic and resolve which is given by Microsoft, you can. And this is identity. If you are integrating with any other you can use the identity to authenticate with the system identity or user identity. And here you can see the private endpoint connection. If you want to allow only secure connections to access this recovery vault, you can create a private endpoints to allow that connections. And here is the properties of the your recovery service vault. Okay, in these properties we have multiple options actually. You can see in the backup, you can see there is a backup configuration. Okay, if you click here the backup configuration, you can see that the options here. You can see if you want to restore replication types of sorry storage replication type, it has to support. If you local rednet or geo rednet, you can enable here. And if you want to cross a region restore, means suppose VM is there in one region and you want to restore in a different region, then that cross region option has to be enabled. Then only the VM is in one region and you want to restore this VM into different region also, it can be supported using this recovery vault. If you want to restore that VM, suppose you have a VM, the backup is enabled for VM1. Okay, the VM1 for some reason we want to restore that same VM1 to in different region, and if you want to restore, in the sense this feature has to be enabled, then only it will support. Cross region feature will be it will support once if you enable this option. Okay, that comes as in a backup configuration. Only these two features in the backup configuration. Same like that, if you have encryption settings and multi-user authorization, and if you have to go for security settings. Okay, here you can see here soft deletions we have to enable here. Okay, it's been already enabled. So this security settings we can enable the soft delete options for this recovery service vault. Okay, and if you want to download the recovery service agent to manage it, you can download here. It will tell you when it's required a agent. Okay, so these are the like properties. And logs, we know that logs is to control access and accidental deletion. Okay, and here are the backups. Okay, if you click on the backups, it will show you that option to configure the backups. So this recovery service vault, how many environments you can able to take the backup. So guys, very I told you a couple of times, this is very important. If you not understand, if you or have, if it's not getting that properly, let me know right there. You can stop me. I will explain you there with another options. Okay, like giving the example. So this is the backup option. Here you have a number of options like environments. What are the environments is going to support, and what are the different environments you can see here. So now you can Azure VMs side. This is the environment. So Azure resources you can able to take the backup, and Azure Stack Hub. So this is a different environment. Okay, Azure Stack HCI. So this is comes as a Azure Stack, in the sense we have dedicated private cloud, and you have to take that kind of like environment to be the backup. You can use that also. And we have a on-prem. So these are the options you can able to use to environments used to take it will support for this recovery vault. Suppose now I have selected the Azure. So in Azure environment, so what are the what do you want to backup? So what resource you want to backup? Is a VM or storage, or what do you want? You can see. So in this Azure environment, we have these are the options. It will be support. In the storage, it's not been fully storage account. Okay, it only for file share only. It will support for the recovery vault to take the backup. Okay, it's been not the blob or file or queue. It won't allow you to take the backup. The recovery vault won't support to take the backup for the blob or file table or queue. Only it will support file shares. Okay, and SQL servers in Azure VMs. Suppose there is a SQL VMs in Azure. Okay, so SQL servers also in the Azure you can able to take. And if you have any SAP HANA servers in the Azure VMs, like Azure VMs, make sure that Azure VM, you can able to select that. You can configure that. Okay. And suppose if you go for on-prem, so what are the options you have? So see, these are the options. You can take the file and folder. If you can able to configure the Hyper-V virtual machines and VMware virtual machines and Microsoft SQL servers and Microsoft SharePoint servers service and services and Exchange services and system state like Active Directory, like a system state backup or bare metal recovery backups. These are the options you can configure for the on-prem environments. Okay, so based upon your requirement, you have to choose that which backup and which is going to support, and which backup you have to choose that for that specific environment. Suppose mostly now we are going to discuss on Azure, right? So now if you go for Azure, so these are the backups. Now currently we are going to enable the Azure virtual machine. So I'm just selecting that. Now currently we are in where? We are in the recovery vault. I'm going to select the Azure and selecting the virtual machine. I'm click on the backup. Okay. If you click on the backup, it will go for the configuration and it will tell you that which VM you want to take the backup in the Azure. So what we have selected here, guys, in Azure VM level backup, VM in Azure VM backup I have to take. So I'm just going to take the configuration to take which VM. You are taking the VM virtual machines, right? Which virtual machine you want to take the backup. Okay, so you have to add, first of all you have to create that policy. So here we want to create a policy. This policy is going to tell you so what retention you want to follow. Let me click here. Okay, click on create the policy. So here you will get the like a days and snapshot, months, weekly or yearly, how much retention you want. So here this is this based upon this policy is only the backups will work. Okay, so I'm creating VM backup policy. I'm giving a name. Okay, VM BKP backup. Okay, policy. Policy. Okay, I'm giving this. Okay, so this is my policy name. Here I'm telling, so backup schedule daily, every day. Okay, every day what time? Let me go for 11 p.m. Okay, 11 every day 11 p.m. It's in UTC. Let him UTC. For me, I don't have any problem. Or let me take it 10 p.m. UTC. Okay, so it's going to take every day 10 p.m. UTC time. It's going to take. If you want to change, you can change the time zone also. For me, I'm fine with the UTC. Okay, so this is the instance restore. Okay, this recent instant recovery snapshot will take every day. For that, you want how many snapshot you want to be. So currently I don't want this. Mostly we won't prefer that. This it will be, we will use for the default, and here we are going to choose it. Now we have set for the daily backup 10 p.m. UTC, and how many days backup. You are asking you to trigger daily backup 10 p.m. but how many days backup has to be retention. So I want only 7 days. Okay, okay, only 7 days retention. Okay, only 7 days I'm keeping here. Then means only 7 days backups it will be here, and is every day is creating, right? Older than 7 days, it's automatically it's going to be deleted. You got it? So only 7 days backups only it will be available for you to restore. If you have any worst case, if you have any want to restore, so daily backups. See, this is daily backup, only 7 days. Okay. Now I want to enable weekly backup. So weekly backup, let me, I want to enable 4 weeks. So 4 weeks means every Sunday. Okay, every Sunday 10 p.m. UTC it will take the weekly backup. So how many weeks the backup? 4 weeks. In 4 Sundays it will take the backup, and 4 Sundays backup it will be available. If 2 months happened, okay, if cross the 2 months, if you want, so now you have enabled the backup last March. Okay, March. No, like February or March. Okay, March you have enabled. So if March 1st you have enabled. Okay, so now if you can, how many backup it will be available? Only 4. But now currently March 1st week backup it won't be available. So because of this week already it been crossed April 1 week, right? So only latest 4 weeks only available. Because of older 4 weeks, all the backups will get deleted. Only 4 weeks backups only will be available to use to restore, or whatever how you want to maintain that based upon cases you how you want to restore. So that case it will be available for 4 weeks. And if you go for monthly, so how many months backups you want? So I want 12. Okay, I'm keeping as a 12 months. Okay, and how many yearly backups you want? I want 3 years. So this way you can able to configure the policy. Okay, and it will get create the policy, and your backups will run based upon this retention policy. So daily retention policy of the backup is 7 days, and weekly backup retention is 4 weeks, and monthly retention backup is 12, and yearly is 3. So this is the retention policies you are configuring your for VM. So this policy you are setting for this retention policies. Okay, like this you click here. So it will get create this policy based upon this configuration. Okay, so now it will apply here. So the VM backup policy. So based upon this policy, your backups will be available. So you can, if you want to restore that VM, so using daily backup, so only 7 days. If you have the VM will crash within 7 days, you can able to restore using that specific restore point. If you older than 8 days, then daily backup it won't be available. If you go for weekly, let me go and explain you the diagram. Okay, so here, let me take here. So now I have a 7 days daily backup. Oh shit. Seven days daily backup, and I have 4 weeks weekly backup. Okay. Now you see here the difference, how it will work. Now user is raise a request, so you have only 7 backups here. 7 days backup means 7 days in the sense. So currently, what is the date here today? 14, right? So it's now 7 days backup. So from today, how many days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. From like 8th to 14th, from 8th date to 14th date backups only is available for in your recovery service, because of your retention is 7 days. So latest 7 days backups only available from 8th date to 14th date. Suppose user is requested to 7th date, okay, you can't able to restore because of, so weekly backup, sorry, my daily backup, it's not available from 7th day. So daily backup is available from 8th to 14th. If user is requested to 7th date, you can't able to restore using the what backup? Daily backup, you can't restore it. Okay, so then which backup it will be help you? So because of weekly backup, so we have a 4 weeks, right? So currently it's been 14. So last 4 weeks backup will available, right? So in the 4 weeks, in the sense, how many weeks it's been? It's April, you have a 2 weeks here. Okay, so then if 4 weeks is available, so here in April 2 weeks and March 2 weeks is available. So if you can able to restore from 7th day backup here using weekly backup or not? Hello.
Yes, we will get in weekly backup.
So weekly backup we can restore. So then if you can restore from using weekly backup, so there is a disadvantage. Disadvantage in the sense, so our backup will run when? Only Sunday. So our weekly backup will run on 9th and 2nd. So you don't have, you using weekly backup, if your VM has to be restored from 7th date, so you can't able to complete VM, you can't bring it to 7th date. You can bring either 9th or 2nd. So if you restore with the 2nd date, so how much data you're going to lose it? 3rd, 4th and 5th and 6th, so sorry, data it won't restore. So the data is losing in the sense, if you restore 7, so this data, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, up to 14 days backup you are going to lose, because of your VM is going to restore from 14th to 2nd state. So VM is going to bring back to 2nd date. So in between, what are the changes you have done in the VM, you are going to lose it. So that you can able to restore from the weekly backup, but there is a loss. So using that, you can able to restore. Okay, you understand. So now if you user is requested to 7th date using daily backup, you can't restore because of the backups is restore points is available from 8th to 14th. So weekly, daily backup you can't do. Coming to the weekly backup you can able to restore, but not from the 7th date. Weekly backup you can restore only from 2nd date and 9th date. Why? Because of weekly backup will run only every Sunday 10 p.m. UTC. So you can't restore exactly 7th date, but you can bring your VM online. So your VM is crashed on 7th. Okay, you don't have daily backup to restore 7th day. So what is the other option? At least you can bring the VM back. If you find, if the data loss also fine, but my VM has to bring online. So which backup we can use? We can use for the weekly backup. So if you use a weekly backup, your VM, you lost the data, but you can able to restore the your your VM you can able to restore, but you are losing the data. These days data you lose because of your VM state. You are bringing back to second state instead of 14. You are bringing back to second date. So in between data, what are the changes you have done for the inside the VM? So all data you are going to lose. But using weekly backup, you can able to restore your VM into second date. Okay, but monthly, if you this case monthly backup, it's not going to help you, and yearly backup also it's not going to help you. So this case weekly backup will help you in certain time. Suppose now I have a weekly backup, sorry, 7 days backup, right? So my now currently my ninth date, one user is requested to my VM. There is some file is missing, some configuration missing, application is not working, and user is requested to restore the VM from ninth day backup. So which backup you will choose it?
Uh, Weekly backup also will work on night daily also. That is weekend, right?
Tell me, bro.
Daily backup will work, bro.
Yeah, daily backup you can, because of 7 days, right? 7 days means it will available 8 to 14. So now we have a daily backup. So using daily backup, you can directly you can able to restore from ninth date. Okay, daily backup you can use for ninth day. So that way you have to find out which retention policy. In the retention policy, which backup policy it is, like which backup, like is a daily backup or weekly backup or monthly backup, which based upon the request, which backup retention you can able to restore that specific request, that you have to assess while verifying that backup policy. Okay, so that's why backup policy is very important. Okay, your backups are running based upon your the backups are running based upon VM that backup policy only. Okay, so now we have created policy and the backups are running based upon the policy. Okay, so you can see this is my policies which we have selected. Okay, so you can see 7 days and 4 weeks, 12 months, 3 years. So all is taking 10 p.m. is going to be work. See, 10 p.m. UTC, 10 p.m. UTC, and 10 p.m. UTC. Okay, now we have created policy. Now we are going to be add a virtual machine. Okay, which virtual machine you want to take a backup? You want to know, right? So user is requested to take a backup of one VM. Okay, let me go for that. Add that VM into this backup and configure that. Okay, so now this is the only one VM here. So discover the VMs. Okay, you can see only one VM is available here. So select that virtual machine and click OK. Okay, so your virtual machine will get add here. See, your virtual machine is added here. So now here we have one more option. You don't select this option. If you select, it will take the backup only for this OS disk. It won't take any other data disks. Okay, it won't take any data disk. It will take only OS. If you're not selected, it will take complete VM will take the backup. What are the disk? Maybe it's a 5 disk or 10 disk, whatever the disk is there in the VM, like OS disk 1 and data disk 5 or 6, all the disk entire complete VM will take the backup. So if you want to take only, this is specifically when you want to take the only OS disk, then only you have to check this. If you want to take entire VM, then you can exclude this. Okay, this way you can configure the policy and we can add that VM into the backup configuration and click on enable. Once you're done, so your backup configuration is been done for this VM. Okay, I'm just clicking here. Okay, once you click, your backup is configuring. Then after configuring, now just you have configured the backup. Okay, so when the backup will run for this VM, what time you have selected? 10 p.m. UTC, right? Yes, you are seeing, you're listening. I'm not at all getting here.
Yeah, listening, bro.
Yeah, it is a 10 p.m. UTC you are selected. So now you have enabled the backup. So once you enable the backup, so based upon the I told you, right, based upon the backup policy, the backups will run. So as per the backup policy, every day 10 p.m. UTC time the backup will trigger. So now we are just configuring. So backup will not run. Because why? Because of now as per the schedule, this is not the right time to run the backup. So what is the time? 10 p.m. only it will run. Okay. So once you enable the
Yes.
backup, how we can do the manual trigger the backup? Let me finish this configuration. I will show you that. Guys, backup is very important. Guys, you have to know that. Okay. Now you have created the config. You have configured the backup. Okay. Now you can see if you go for click on the backup. Okay. Here you will configure. Okay, this option. Now we have configured, and let me go for the backup items. So see, one virtual machine is configured. So backup items. If you go for this virtual machine, click on this virtual machine, you can see. So this VM is configured. This virtual machine is enable the backup. See, initial backup is pending. So initial backup is not configured for currently for this VM. Okay. So how we can trigger? You can trigger all here also. You can click here. You can trigger. Otherwise, you can go for that particular VM. Let me go for that particular VM. You can if you can trigger there also. So do you understand, right, how to configure the how to enable the VM level backup? Okay. Now if you go for the click on the VM, you can see that backup option. You can see that the configurations. Now let me go. Now I am selected the VM and selecting the backup. In that VM, I'm selecting the backup option. Okay. You can see that backup is configured. See, backup is configured, but the backup is not triggered. You can see no restore points. See, no restore points here. See, no restore points available because of still now the backup is not run, right? So you don't have any backup restore points here. So when when it will the backup will trigger. So based upon the policy, what is the policy? You can see here. Here is the policy. Here is the recovery one. Okay. If you go for the back, click on the backup policy. You can see here. So what is the our year configuration? See, daily 10 p.m. UTC and 7 days daily backup, 4 weeks and 12 months and yearly backups. So this way. Okay. So once you created a retention, suppose you have created a policy, right? But you can change the policy, but existing policy you can't edit it. Okay, let me I think you can edit in the policy. I will tell you later that. Okay, if you want to change the policy in a different policy, you can change it here and we can change it. But you don't want to change it, and you can, if you want to keep it the same, you can keep it here. Okay, this way you can confirm that what is the backup policy which you are using for your virtual machines. Now based upon the backup policy, that 10 p.m. UTC the backup will run, but I don't want to be run once configured. I want to trigger. Here you can click backup. Now the backup will trigger here. So currently you can trigger the backup. So here, so retention, say 5th month 14. So retention backup till it will be available. Okay. So I'm just clicking. That comes as a default, but based upon your retention, it will be deleted the backups. Okay. Now you're triggered, right? I clicked on backup now. So you can monitor that as it's been on the backup job. See, here you have configured the backup is successful. Okay. Now you have triggered the backup. So here it's been, you can see here the backup is running now. See, operation is backup. So backup is running. So initial backup, it will take a long time. It will take more than 3 or 4 hours. So I'm just leaving this. Okay. But I want to explain you here how the backup, the backend backup process will work. Whenever you taking the backup, it's taking as a snapshot of your VM and it moving to the vault. So what is the vault? This is the one, right? So it's taking the entire VM is taking as a snapshot, and that snapshot it will move into the vault. I will show you that how you can able to see that. Okay, what the operations in the backend, how it will work. Let me show you. So this is your backup, right? So go for this is the backup is running. Go for this details of the backup job. You can see it's taking the snapshot. Okay, first it will take the snapshot of the VM, and then that snapshot will move to the vault. So in this vault, the backups are storing. Okay, this is your activity ID, and this is your virtual machine. That's what time you have run it. Okay, oh, sorry, recovery point expiry is showing. Okay, so this way it will work for this. It will show you this. It will complete this taking the snapshot. Then this backup will move into the recovery vault. This once your recovery vault, the moving this recovery vault is completed, then your backup job says as a success the backup job. Otherwise, it will fail. Okay, and give me some time. It will taking a time to taking a backup. Go for here. You can see. Okay, this way the backend, the backend, the process how it will work in the sense it will take the backup and the backup will move into the recovery vault. Okay, so this way we can enable the VM level backup. Okay, and we can trigger the backup. Okay, and today we have discussed in the how to create a recovery service vault, and how to set the retention policies, retention policies for the weekly backup, daily backup, and monthly backup and yearly backup. And you can specify the what time you want to trigger that backup. Okay, you have created based upon that you have created a policy. Okay, created vault, create a backup policy, and then we have enabled the VM level backup for this VM virtual machine, and we have triggered the backup. So now currently the backup job is running. Okay, once the backup job is success, then we can how to restore, we can discuss. Okay, what are the different types of restored methods, how we can restore the VM, we'll discuss it. Okay, up to we have today this up to this. We have any questions for this? Otherwise, we'll connect for tomorrow. Guys, you understand how to enable the backup? What is the policy? What is the recovery vault?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I'm asking. I will ask tomorrow. Okay, until today, what are the topics we have discussed? I will going to ask you the questions. Okay, you guys can prepare yourself.
Okay.
But
Okay, sir.
if you're not preparing, simply you are coming and listening, there is no use. 100% I'm telling. Okay, that's it for today. Let me stop recording.